I didn't know that because we had talked about that before, and it wasn't said like that. So I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I'm lost.
Y'all, the way that courtroom went silent, you could hear a pin drop. Nobody was laughing, nobody was whispering, nobody was checking their phones, because the moment Stormi walked in, holding that folder tight against her chest, everybody knew something serious was about to go down. This wasn't a social media rant. This wasn't a shady Instagram caption. This was real life, real papers, real consequences. And when that DNA proof finally hit the table, it didn't just shake the room, it destroyed everything Marsau thought he had under control. What nobody expected, though, was LaTisha's reaction. The tears, the rage, the way she stood up and walked out like her whole world just collapsed in front of strangers. This wasn't reality TV drama anymore. This was betrayal exposed in real time. And once the truth came out, there was no editing it away, no spin, no damage control.
Is there something that was said on camera that made you feel that way?
Was it? No, not on camera, not with the show, no. More so in interviews, like interviews.
My interview?
I can't remember if it was your interview, but it was other interviews for sure.
Because once science speaks, excuses don't matter anymore. Now, before we even get to that courtroom explosion, you have to understand how we got here, because this didn't happen overnight. Stormi didn't just wake up one morning and decide to flip everyone's lives upside down. Stormi has always been that woman who moves with purpose, a businesswoman, a mother, somebody who keeps her image clean and her circle tight. For years, she's been in the public eye, showing hustle, family moments, and success. But behind that polished surface, something wasn't sitting right for a long time. People close to her say Stormi had been carrying stress she never spoke on, smiling for cameras, showing up to events, but emotionally weighed down by a secret she didn't ask for. And Marsau, he was always confident, maybe too confident. The kind of man who walks into a room like he owns it. The husband, the provider, the man with the answers.
It's been a tough year. It's been a tough year. Not for me, but for, the people that are around me. And so I just want to say that God is a good God. God is a good God, and he's brought us through a lot.
And LaTisha stood beside him for years, defending him, trusting him, riding for him even when the rumors started to creep in. And let's be honest, the rumors weren't new. Fans had been whispering for seasons. Late nights, questionable timelines, tension that didn't make sense. Anytime Stormi's name came up around Marsau, the energy shifted. He'd get defensive, short, irritated. And LaTisha? She'd brush it off, laugh it away, say people were reaching. That's what a loyal wife does when she believes her marriage is solid. But behind closed doors, cracks were forming. Stormi went quiet at one point, and if you follow her, you know that's unusual. No motivational posts, no business promos, just silence. And silence like that usually means someone is preparing for something big. What nobody knew was that Stormi wasn't plotting revenge. She was preparing for the truth. She took the legal route. No blogs, no interviews, just lawyers, paperwork, and patience. Because if you're going to accuse someone of something that serious, you better come with facts. And that's exactly what she did. The court approved the DNA test, which alone says a lot. Judges don't sign off on things without reason. There had to be enough evidence to justify moving forward. Texts, timelines, interactions that couldn't be ignored. Stormi didn't say a word publicly, but behind the scenes, she was building a case piece by piece.
I think that if you date women and you see how it is, Carlos, I think you might just like it. I think you might get delivered. Just try once. Just like, ooh, no.
And then came the day everything changed. The hearing that nobody could prepare for emotionally. Stormi walked in calm, focused, not flashy. Marsau looked confident at first, leaning back, like he still believed this would blow over. LaTisha sat beside him, head held high, dressed like a woman standing on dignity. But as the minutes passed, the air got heavier. When the lawyer finally spoke those words, confirming the DNA results, everything stopped. 99-point-something%. A match! Not gossip, not speculation, science. And in that moment, Marsau's face changed. The confidence drained out of him like someone pulled a plug. He didn't argue, he didn't interrupt, he just sat there, frozen. Stormi didn't celebrate, she didn't smirk, she nodded, because for her, this wasn't about embarrassing anyone. This was about being believed, about finally putting an end to the whispers and lies. But LaTisha snapped, and honestly, it was heartbreaking to watch. She stood up so fast her chair scraped across the floor. Her voice cracked as she shouted that it couldn't be true, that this was a setup, that everyone was lying, tears streaming, hands shaking. That wasn't anger, that was devastation. That was a woman realizing the person she trusted most had been living a double life. Court officers had to step in because LaTisha couldn't calm down. She pointed, she cried, she demanded answers that weren't coming. And then she did the unthinkable. She stormed out, walked straight out of that courtroom, leaving Marsau sitting there, alone, exposed, silent. That image right there said everything. The wife who once defended him without hesitation was gone, and the man who thought he could control the narrative was finally out of excuses. After that, the internet exploded. Clips, screenshots, old episodes resurfaced. Fans started connecting dots that didn't make sense before but suddenly clicked perfectly. Moments where Marsau looked nervous, scenes where LaTisha seemed unsure but pushed it down. People even pulled old interviews where Stormi hinted at betrayal without naming names. And now, those words hit different. Stormi's family also stepped forward. Messages were leaked showing Marsau asking Stormi to keep quiet, promising to handle it if she didn't make things public. Late-night visits confirmed by witnesses. This wasn't one mistake, this was a pattern. Marsau eventually spoke, but it wasn't the smooth talking we're used to. He admitted he messed up. No long explanation, no blame shifting, just a tired man facing consequences he could no longer dodge. And sometimes silence says more than words ever could. LaTisha, on the other hand, disappeared. No posts, no statements, no quotes, just gone. And honestly, can you blame her? Her marriage, her image, her family, all shattered in one afternoon. The emotional impact of this goes way deeper than headlines. For Stormi, it was years of holding pain while still showing up strong for her child. Imagine carrying a truth like that alone, knowing people would doubt you, judge you, accuse you of trying to ruin a family. She didn't choose this chaos, she responded to it the only way she knew how, with proof. For LaTisha, this was public humiliation mixed with private heartbreak. Finding out your husband betrayed you is painful enough. Finding out in a courtroom, surrounded by strangers, cameras waiting, that cuts deep. It's not just love lost, it's trust destroyed. And rebuilding after something like that takes time, therapy, and distance. Careers are affected too. Brand deals, show contracts, public perception. One truth can change everything. And now everyone's asking the same question. Was this destined to come out eventually, or could it have been handled differently? But here's the thing. When someone forces silence on you, truth eventually finds a microphone. Stormi didn't destroy anything. Lies did. Secrets did. Choices did. And as this chapter closes, the aftermath is just beginning. LaTisha has decisions to make. Marsau has accountability to face. Stormi? She finally gets to breathe. No more whispers, no more doubts, just facts. And whether you see this as messy or necessary, one thing is clear: the truth doesn't need permission to come out. It arrives when it's ready. And when it does, it doesn't knock gently, it kicks the door down. So let this be a reminder. You can hide things from the public, but you can't hide from consequences. And when proof speaks louder than promises, everything changes. Sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is stop explaining and start proving. Stormi did just that. And the impact? It'll be felt for a long time.